We saw Hereditary this weekend, and we have a whole lot to talk about. Me and Kari, we probably have opinion different than Anthony. The new Halloween trailer came out this weekend, and as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited about it. We also have a shape in the room with us tonight. Also, the final season of Faceoff. It's very sad, but we have a lot of Faceoff people in here tonight to talk about it. It's going to be a great show, guys.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Some Face-Off survivors.
It's the survivor crew from Faceoff. All right, let's have some fun tonight. A lot of scary fun. Oh, so anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to Scare Guys Show tonight. We are going to have a lot of fun. We have a lot of people in here that it's making it hard to get everybody organized, but that makes it fun because everybody's full of so much energy tonight. So great to meet everybody. We're going to go around the table, introduce yourselves, and we are celebrating the final year of Face-Off. Yay, sad face. But it's a little bit of both, but I'm so glad you guys could join us tonight. Also, we're going to talk about Hereditary, the film that we saw this weekend. And we're also going to talk about the trailer for Halloween, which I'm so excited about. My name is Jim. I'm the managing editor for The Scare Guy. Thank you for following us. Please like the show, follow us, do all that good stuff to make us go up in the rankings.
And my name is Kari Lane, and I'm a host here at Popcorn Talk and After Buzz, as well as female. I'm a female. Filmmaker.
Yes, you are female.
Yes, I'm tired. It's been a long day.
She does so many
I'm happy to be
shows.
here to talk about horror stuff because that's awesome.
My name is Keaghlan Ashley. I was a Face-Off contestant and survivor from season 7 and All Stars 11.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ben Kliewer, at Ben Kliewer online on all the interwebs. I'm an actor, writer, comedian, host, musician, priest. I'm not a priest.
What don't you do?
Etc., etc.
My appearance on the Scare Guy tonight is brought to you by Piranhas. Piranhas! Damn, they're scary. Piranhas.
Who do we got on the couch today?
I am Cheeseman on the couch with thescareguy.com. I'm also watching you online. If you're watching, you can comment and ask us questions live on air.
That sounds creepy. I'm watching you.
Your plug just fell out of your
Your
computer.
power cord just
And I'm unplugged.
This just became a horror movie. Hi guys, I'm Keatin Marchi. I worked on Faceoff and have worked with both of these lovely people outside of Faceoff as well. And thank you guys again for having me.
Glad to have you.
Happy to be back.
Hi guys, I'm Jamie Avera. I'm an actor and writer and was also on Faceoff.
And you are dressed tonight as?
The Shape.
I hate it.
Because Keatin, you just love horror movies, right?
Give me a kiss.
Because Jamie, you are a fanatic, I guess that is safe to say, of Michael Myers.
Yeah, I'm a diehard fan. After it scared the you-know-what out of me as a kid, and then I slowly turned the channel back on and started watching it, and wanted to do it, be it and do it and all that stuff, and watch it every year about 5 times.
And we have so much to talk about tonight. All we've seen is the trailer, and we could talk the entire show about the trailer. Is fantastic. I'm so excited about the trailer. Jamie gave me a gift. I have no idea what this is. Can I open it?
Yeah, I hope it touches your heart.
This is... what is that?
It's a creature. It's a scary, scary creature.
It's a scary creature.
Google eyes.
It's an ET
It
monkey.
looks like something I'd design. Let's be real.
Googly
Fantastic.
eyes.
I'm going to keep
the
that.
googly eyes.
That is fantastic.
It's on my Etsy shop.
I would watch that
there you
that character scary movie.
I would.
It'd be okay.
No, wait a second. I have a quick question.
Yes.
So color me green.
All right.
But I did not realize
You're
that
wearing
Michael. Yeah, I am. I did not realize Michael Myers in his Michael Myers. No, not Mike Myers. Oh baby. Michael Myers in the Shatner mask was called The Shape.
The Shape.
I did not realize that was
Yes.
the term.
It's written in the script. Whenever you see it, it's The Shape.
I did not know that.
Which is just awesome.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why is it called the Shatner mask?
because
Because it was originally.
This is William
originally a
Shatner's
William
face.
Shatner mask.
Shut up.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
a Star
They
Trek
cut
mask.
the eyes out.
They opened up the eye holes, ripped out the hair, obviously painted it white, and kinked the hair here. And
Back in the day when they had so much money, what was their budget? I think it was like
300,000.
300,000 on that film. So they had to make do with what they had, and that meant getting a William Shatner mask and painting it white.
Yeah, it was between this and a red skeleton mask or some like a
That's
clown
right.
mask.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was clown mask.
Yeah.
Learn
Clearly,
something new every day.
William
See?
Shatner was much scarier than a clown.
How does William Shatner feel about this?
I think. Well,
Like, what is there some statement? I feel there should
I
be
think
some
there's-
statement
I'm
that
sure he
he's
said
made.
something.
Online
Yes.
somewhere, yeah.
What has he
Okay.
said about it?
well, there's been like a kind of a battle for rights. So they've designed the mask, and it can't be exactly like.
Oh, to look less
Every
and
other
less
mask,
like him.
yeah.
Yeah, and so they get away with it by doing certain changes to it.
But
Yeah.
this is the thing. Nobody would have ever known had they not been like, "Hey, funny story. Guess where we got the mask from?" Like,
True. Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody on that set would have, got out and.
no, that's what I'm
Sure.
saying. Like, it would have
Yeah.
never like William Shatner. You have a ton of money. Like, let it go, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what, since we're talking all Halloween stuff here, Anthony, could we go ahead and watch that trailer? Anthony?
Yes, please.
Or maybe we will.
Senor Tony.
I told you I thought my microphone was off. We do have the trailer keyed up and ready to go. Tell you what, let's. Here we go.
He's off on a
He's
Here
doing
we
it.
go.
He's got it.
Oh.
Oh.
So I think we need to talk. Oh, there we go. Talk over it.
Here we
Oh,
go.
yeah, do we
The
talk over it?
official trailer.
This is the official trailer for the brand new 2018 Halloween.
Is this it?
Can
We
you
get to
see?
watch it here?
Are you guys watching it?
I hope so.
I can
No,
see them.
Well, it's right
It's on
in you
over
guys'
your head.
heads.
But so we see.
Yeah, let's. The great idea. Let's go interview a serial killer.
I don't get what this is. This is like a bunch of reporters going to interview everybody about the Halloween massacre.
Yeah.
So, this is also called Halloween, and it's a direct sequel to the original film, the
Yes.
first one.
Yeah.
Right.
Skipping over the rest of the Halloween
They're
movies.
disregarding them
So
completely.
The real tragedy of which is disregarding all of the setup that was put into Halloween 3,
But-
Season of the Witch.
Right. Which is included in this film, this trailer, by the way.
Is it really?
Yes, I'll show you in a second. So here we are with Michael out in the middle of a courtyard. Of,
Sanitary.
Weird.
What does
courtyard.
Michael look like?
You
don't see him.
We don't
No,
see him.
ever
And I'm excited because it's Blumhouse. Okay, in just a second, we're going to see. So that was Laurie's granddaughter. And Jamie has some thoughts about that. He will give us in just 1 second.
It was not her brother. That's the main
It's
people
not her brother. They're retconning that.
Do you know that I pray every
And Laurie out in the woods.
that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
I like it. Go ahead.
It's weird seeing Jamie Lee Curtis with long hair.
I was going to say the
A
same
little
thing.
bit, yeah.
I just wish she was my grandmother.
What'd you say?
I just wish she was my grandmother.
I know.
Dude, all those prisoners, you should have hit them and kept
I
driving.
know. This scene is truly unnerving.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't even. I was watching
That
this in
one's
my car
creepy.
by myself.
Now, is
Oh,
that a
yeah.
real thing they're retconning that he's not her brother, or was she
Yes.
just saying, oh, that, you know,
No,
like,
he's really not her brother. We'll talk about that in
He's
just
a
1
great
second.
dentist.
But this is the scene where he walks in and drops teeth in over the
Yeah.
top into a bathroom stall. The poor lady that's.
Never gonna poop again.
Or a lot.
You know, I think Jamie Lee Curtis could give you some yogurt.
Oh yeah, Activia.
Right there. That's the Halloween 3 masks. The Shamrock
Oh,
masks.
that's fantastic. That's beautiful. I love it when they do that.
This.
I like how the trick-or-treaters are out.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot one.
That's a mirror.
That's a mirror.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't catch it the
It's
first
that
time.
house
I
in
didn't either.
Pasadena. And so there's a lot of Michael jumping around, and there's something about this I'm not.
You should.
Can you close the closet door?
Oh,
The-
this.
yeah, this
I
one's
can't.
great. I love this
Babysitters.
one.
Look.
Yeah.
Back to the babysitters.
Yep.
Doink.
And trying to
Kind
close
of a
the
70s looking shirt.
There he
she's
is.
wearing.
Yeah.
All right. I
Never trust a closet.
love it. I love it. I love
Nope.
it. I love it. I
He's
love
Michael
it.
Keaton.
Comes out of the
But
closet.
I would
in
like
this
to
one.
hear.
Apropos for
We're
Pride
gonna jump
weekend.
to us in just a second. You guys. Okay. Wait. Kari, what do you think?
I'm actually not super versed in the Halloween universe, but I think it looks very exciting. I've seen, I think, just the first one. I don't think I saw any of the other ones.
I guess that's all you need
So
to see.
that doesn't really matter. But from hearing discussion, what people have said about where they're taking it, it does sound really interesting to be like, let's pretend those other ones didn't exist. And this is later in time, so it's not like we're remaking it.
40 years
no
later,
time
yeah.
has passed. And the idea of, journalists starting it, gosh, man, they got to dig shit up.
They do.
But, that seems a logical way to bring it back in without being stupid of, wait, why are we back?
Yeah. What would you guys?
I'm into it. I feel like it does develop a lot of the tone from the original, like that kind of slow build and that slow kind of creep factor, which I've always been a fan of. So
I'm excited. I've always liked the Halloween movies. They.
especially the ones with Busta Rhymes.
Right. What I was gonna say, the
Trick or treat, mother.
This concept, this concept of where they're like, oh, we fast forward and now it's how many years is it since the first one? 40 years.
Yeah.
Because they kind of did that with H2O. They were like, now it's 20 years later and he's back in. But then that was keeping the rest of the canon in time because there was Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Season of the Witch was part of the whole thing where they were trying to diversify the Halloween title and bring in different stories. Was there another one then?
Halloween 4.
Halloween 4.
I
right.
liked Halloween. Well, I liked it back when it first came out, and then I
Same.
saw it recently. And it's like, this doesn't really hold up.
Well, because
so
Halloween
much.
4 introduces Danielle Harris's character,
Yeah.
That's right.
who's the niece.
Right. But yeah, and so then H2O was kind of that same concept, but I like that
I need to
they're
interrupt you just
Go
for a
for it.
second. Should I?
Some
ahead.
people are commenting they're not seeing the live stream yet.
Mr. Producers, the live stream is not up yet, and people are commenting online. So, Luke, want to
the
be passed
internet
along?
is a rage.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's on YouTube.
Our mothers are all pissed.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Back on you.
Sorry.
It's YouTube's fault.
Not wrong.
It is
I'm just
YouTube's
interested to
fault.
read up because of all the lore that they established in the ensuing films after the first one. What they're taking directly, and the whole like retconning that he's not her brother. It's a little disappointing to hear, but I'm sure they have a good reason.
Keaton.
So, full disclosure, I've never seen Halloween because I am terrified.
Why is she even here? I'm just
But
kidding.
I know, right? I'm just
Face-Off.
waiting for
Classic
it.
Face-Off. I forgot this was
Face-Off.
so- Yeah.
But I have to say, I got a chance to interview Jamie Lee Curtis on a red carpet for.
That's why she's here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. For when she came to see a documentary called Jane that Nat Geo put on, and it's so cool to me that she's stepping back into this role, regardless of whether I've seen the original or not. And she was so excited to do it too.
Aw.
And so to see her do this and to see this kind of story continue, because I know how many people do really love this story. It's just not my cup of tea, guys. But I'm very excited for all my friends who do love it, and I'm excited for Jamie Lee Curtis because she's a rock star.
Cheese, do you have anything to say before we jump to Jamie, who I know
Well, the
has...
good news
seen
is
Chomping at the
that because of the way they're doing it, you only need to see the original and then this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since
no,
they're just ignoring
you're right. I
everything
only
else.
have to put myself through 4 hours of pure torture.
I think we'll have a
2
viewing
and a
party. We
half.
will have a viewing party for Halloween. Definitely
Yeah.
get ready for that.
Do you
But
want
I-
to just like film me like watching
Sounds
it? and
Yes.
being, like,
Do a live stream, and then we can do a tour by the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the houses near here.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You can drive by.
The whole
Okay, if
We-
you guys
we
want to
have videos
introduce me to
online.
the world of Halloween, I have.
And then
I'd
there's
love to
one.
show
There's
you.
one in Pasadena, and then there's one in Hollywood.
Come
too.
over, girl. I have
The
it on
last
VHS.
the last couple years, the actual Michael Myers house they've made into like an exhibit. So they've had like art and
Yep.
kind of like what Creature Features. Or
It's right
something.
behind there at the Sugarmint
Mint.
Gallery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we have a video that we put together with him as the shape with all the different spots of Halloween that we went
Yeah.
around filming. It was really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of fun now is it becomes a choose your own adventure. You can watch the first one and then you can go off to the sequels, or you can watch the first one and go off to this, or you can watch the first one then just watch the Rob Zombie ones. and-
No, never watched those. Sorry.
Also, a side note of it, just based on your comment of like talking to her now, I think it's great too that we're featuring a older leading lady as like still
That's-
badass too.
Yeah,
Because how many
absolutely.
have that? She's not 20 something, not even 30 something, and she's still so cool.
She's
Yeah.
60 something.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that's awesome.
Kind of like Three Billboards did so well.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see kind of.
All I know is if you were to
She's
piss
kinda
my
like she-
mother, who's a 60-something lady, she'd be right there too.
She's kind of like how she was in H2O, but now just
Yeah.
a little older.
There you go.
She's
She
strong
looks
and
a-
willing to fight.
A little
Jamie-
less traumatized.
I want to hear
But
what
I am-
Jamie. Oh,
But
no,
I
no,
am
Cheeseman.
I
Cheeseman.
am excited about this. I like the trick-or-treating type shots and him walking around within that. And I was talking on the way over, it would be cool if they did cameos of the original kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's almost like they're going around interviewing people about that night because they went to Michael, kind of like, we're investigating this. And they looks like they were talking to Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Lori, about her experience. So it'd be interesting if they go around and kind of ask the kids.
Kyle Richards.
About-
Get Kyle
yeah.
Richards on there. She was the
From
original.
the
She
from
was
the
Lindsay.
Housewives, right?
Yeah, she's one of the housewives, and now she was Lindsay in the original. That would be cool.
I want
I
adult
bet
Tommy.
you she's in there. I bet you any amount of.
Why would she not be?
You would
know?
think, right? Yeah.
Well, I know that they've like put so much love into the making of this new movie that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs that we're going to have to look out for.
Yeah.
Easter egg.
That's,
Easter eggs.
that's,
Jeremy, I want to know what you feel.
there's one of I liked it. I think the first and foremost, the mask had to be on point, and everybody involved that was doing the mask, like, huge fans and knows the mask inside and out. After that, I think it was about tone. Like Keaghlan said, like, it's just got to feel like the same movie, the same night, you know. Well, not the same night, but the same just vibe, you know, his walk and everything. There are little things that I was like, I'm a little concerned about, but I got to say overall, I'm pretty hopeful because it looks fun. Not to be negative, but I love Halloween 1 and 2. In fact, I like 2 as much as 1.
Ooh, that's a bold
You
statement.
watch that 5 times a year too?
I do, man. No
Yeah.
joke. I
I-
literally
back
just
to
watched
back.
Halloween
Well,
2 last
the
night.
cool thing
Every
about it
Did
is
you
it
really?
is
I swear to God.
it's a continuation of that same storyline,
Yes,
yeah.
which is
Except on
what
the
makes
same
it
night,
awesome.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just a little bit later in the hospital, which makes it awesome.
Yeah, I had a harder time. I have to be careful because I think most of us know people that like worked on the different films and stuff. So I just preferred H1 and H2, the original. I did like Halloween 4 when it came out, but then later on I kind of thought,
It didn't hold up, but I did like it.
And some of the masks to me got a little wonky.
So you're a critic.
Like part 6.
A critic of the masks. You know the masks, right?
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's such a big thing. Like
Because like sometimes the eye holes got too big. Right?
sometimes there was one that I'm not gonna name, but the forehead like started back here.
Just
and,
name it. Which one was that?
Uh,
Nobody cares.
all right,
Do it.
Do it.
Ha-
Do it.
Halloween 6.
H2O?
No,
No, 6 was
6.
Yeah.
Which one was H2O if you were just numbering them? That was number 7?
6, and then there was, I think that actually was H2O, yeah.
And then
And then there was
And then
Resurrection.
with
Being a
Buster
super
Brothers.
fan,
Yeah.
or anybody chime in for Halloween super fans, I was hearing some other friends talk about one, they weren't thrilled. They thought it was dumb. They're like, why are they putting all these prisoners on the same bus to transport them exactly at the same time?
Yeah.
No
kidding.
Also
And
commenting, like, essentially Jamie Lee Curtis's character sees the bus. It's like, well, then how do you know and stuff? And
Yeah.
the logic of all the prisoners together, I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
I-
Why all at the same time?
I agree. I don't think I was 100% in love with the big courtyard scene. That just seemed
Well, is that a
weird to
real
me.
thing they do to people?
Yeah, it could be
like,
real.
here's
That's
a
what-
it was very
sociopath,
much a
let's tie
style
them to
choice.
chains.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks very visual.
I was just saying
Aesthetic.
it's pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, stylistically, I thought it was really cool.
I was
but
like
when you-
Queen to B5.
Yes.
I don't, you know.
Yeah, apparently it had something to do with like Freemason days or something like that, but I don't know how.
No, that. What are you talking? What are you talking
You're
about?
talking about the checkerboard,
checkerboard,
chessboard
yeah.
kind of
Oh,
thing?
that
Yeah.
was a Freemason design choice, huh?
Something like I didn't.
Well-
I haven't looked it up, but
Maybe there's something in the film about it. Maybe it's part of the psychological whatever they do to the prisoners.
yeah.
And I also didn't like. Well, it's not I didn't like. I was noticing like in H2O there was the scene of he gets out, he goes to the bathroom stall and terrorizes the lady in the bathroom stall and drives off.
Yeah.
In the zombie film, there was the bathroom stall. He goes and terrorizes a girl in the bathroom stall.
Yeah.
And then
I
there's-
see
He's
his
the big
friend.
trucker guy.
He's got to
in
go
the
too.
bathroom.
Yeah.
He's got to go too.
And then there's this one. He comes and drops the teeth over the bathroom. I don't
teeth
like.
was
I don't
so
like to
good,
repeat
though.
like
The same kind
the,
of scare.
the same scene over and over.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that like some of that'll be cool, like the homages and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
if there's too many.
if it's too many, then you kind of feel like
Yeah.
taking you out of the movie.
And I do want to see people alone with Michael instead of it looks a whole lot of groups of people fighting Michael in the trailer, like Jamie Lee Curtis rounding everybody up, run and let's fight him.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I want to see like him creeping and killing babysitters. I kind of
Yeah, it's also hard. Like
I know
to-
I'm so heartless. but
with
that's what I
with
want.
trailers though,
You
it's
people.
always so hard to glean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You never know with trailers. That's true.
Because they could
'Cause-
also be using stuff that's not even in the movie.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
or dream sequence. and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Out
Yeah.
of context,
That's what
it
I
doesn't
Hopefully,
make
no
sense.
white horses.
Yes.
I
yeah,
know.
for
You never
sure.
know. I mean, Hulk.
The physical
was in
manifestation
the
of his
Infinity
internal
War, but he
monologue.
really
What's her
wasn't.
name?
Yeah.
Moon Zappa?
They lie.
No, Sherry Moon.
Sherry Moon.
Moon
Yeah.
Zappa. That's-
Was it Frank Zappa's daughter? What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Okay.
I'm super stoked to see it. It comes out October 18th, I think.
19th.
Right?
But maybe 18th.
This is Thursday
is the-
night.
Yeah.
What did you think, Anthony?
Oh, I'm sorry. What's going on?
What do you think?
What did you think of the Halloween trailer?
Oh yeah, yeah, it looks interesting. I actually really enjoyed the courtyard scene. It gives it such a weird, grimy sort of vibe to it. I definitely it's a great tone setter for the whole film. I am not well versed in the Halloween universe.
You will be by October 19th.
We got some time.
I mean, it's cool. It's had like 10,000 films, and some
True
have been
that.
bad, some have been good. I know the first one's a huge classic with you guys. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm more excited for Suspiria coming out. To be honest, if there's a reboot, I'm more excited for it. Suspiria's got me.
Didn't you just watch that again this week? Did you watch it this weekend?
I saw the trailer for it,
Oh, the
but
trailer, yeah.
I'm a avid fan of Suspiria. I love Suspiria.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Halloween.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that Anthony
I'm just
loves the first Suspiria film, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece. Yeah.
Oh, somebody I work with, he watched the original Suspiria film this weekend because we were watching the trailer at work, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch it." Mad Max, who also went to see Hereditary, which we're going to talk about in just a second as well. Anyways, somebody was talking though about they did not like the fact that they retconned that. When we say retcon, that means they changed the history of he's no longer the brother. And who was that?
I don't know how I feel about that either.
Yeah, well, because I mean, for me, I don't know. Maybe it's just because that's always been kind of the cornerstone for this.
That's all we've known.
That's all we've known. He's her brother, and part of that is that's part of the reason he wants to kill her, or and whatever. But then going back and just saying, well, he's not her brother. I mean, they better have a really good reason, to say that. That's what I'm saying. They better have a really good reason.
That could have been something they honestly just put in the trailer to get people.
I would love that.
To get people up in arms.
Because it was just one of the friends is saying, "Oh, that's just a story they made up."
Yeah,
right.
It could be very well like the mythology
Family secret
So
or
there
something.
could be that Darth Vader moment, like
Yeah.
where she realizes
That would be dope.
I am your brother.
Because apparently Carpenter wrote the sequel like furiously, and he was drinking a lot, and I think he might have regretted the whole sister thing, but I feel like it makes sense. And it's not like he's just gonna focus on her. Everybody in the path is gonna.
From what I understand, though, they are going out of their way to make this feel like the original film.
Yeah.
In the original film, there was no family bond, and that's kind of what they're going for. In the original film, Michael Myers was just the shape who could just kill anybody at random. He was killing babysitters. It didn't matter if you were related or not. You got killed if he saw you on the street that night. Whereas in the films that followed, he was always after somebody. Like so, if you were in his way to getting that other person. So they thought it might feel scarier if it was just random violence instead of planned violence.
I think it's still random, even despite the relationship. I think it's still there.
I think it does. It gives it a nice motive to have him going, at least having an ultimate goal of I want to get her.
Yeah.
But it also, I think, gives, for somebody who hasn't seen them, to me, like having some type of family bond, I think raises the stakes for the person being chased a little bit, because I think, obviously if something's out to kill you, you're going to try to kill them back. But if it's somebody related to you, there's a lot more emotion.
It also goes back to the opening scene of Halloween 1, where he kills his sister.
Yes.
For whatever reason, and he's got this kind of resentment towards her. Maybe it was the sex thing, but either way, it seems to make sense with what the first frames of the original movie.
Yeah.
Also, isn't it, I don't know if this is fair to say this realization, but doesn't he mainly kill women?
When the first movie he killed 3 women and 1 man.
Hashtag
Okay.
time's
Wait, no,
up.
2 men.
Okay. Because I mean,
Boyfriends.
and also initially kills his sister too, so it's
Yeah.
maybe it's like a mom thing. Who knows?
I think it's kind of
I'm not gonna
indiscriminate.
say it.
Is it
But
H2O where he squeezes the guy's head?
no.
Which one is
Wait,
that?
there
He
might have
picks
been.
the guy up
Yeah.
and just squeezes his head.
I really
Like
like
Game of
H2O.
Thrones style?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because he's always been just this hulking, stabbing someone into a wall, stabbing someone into a door, keeping them dangling.
Yeah.
And staring at them.
And I think on a side note, I think the reason they didn't do Jamie Lee's hair shorter, which I think I wanted them to do that. I know that's a very random thing I'm not griping about it, but I think they did that to distance from H2O. because that's the look she has.
And,
Yeah, I can see that.
And to make her look like the same character.
More
from
like
the
Laura,
first
yeah.
Yeah, because her hair's long in the
Yeah. Yeah.
longish in the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. And did you notice the song she was singing in this trailer?
Yes, yeah.
And you recognize it was the song that she was singing from the original movie when she was walking by herself home. A lot of people
Yeah,
didn't
holding the
recognize
books.
that song.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of details in the trailer that like you had to
Yeah.
watch the second time, like the specifically with the mask. There's actually the screwdriver mark in the mask. For
Yeah.
when he gets,
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone posted it on my wall like recently. I was like, oh, I didn't
That one.
even notice that.
See that, Keaton?
I was wondering what was wrong with your mask.
But no, it's an intentional like added thing from the original. So,
I will
which is
say
really
though,
cool.
when that piano riff starts playing,
Yeah.
Oh, that would.
oh,
That's awesome.
That gets me excited for it.
We're gonna have to move on, guys. But we're gonna have a
Can
special.
we come back and just do a Halloween show?
Yes.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yes.
I want to
Many
see it
times,
now.
yes.
Wait, can we do like a Halloween 1 show and then a Halloween 2 show?
As soon as we're done
Yes.
with this thing called Comic-Con, we're gonna head straight into a whole lot of Scare Guys. So
Awesome.
we're gonna have a lot of fun. Anyways, we're gonna move on. Moving on, just real quick, I'm gonna get through some things before we hit.
Jim, may I name the horror events when we get to that part, or do you want to?
No, I would love for you to do that. I just want to
Okay.
say though, we have 4 months and 2 weeks until Halloween. Yes, which means we have 4 months until Halloween. No, 4 months and 1 week. When is the 18th? About 4 months until the movie comes out. So I am going to be counting the days. We'll put a countdown
I'm
clock
already
on the website.
prepping for Halloween. So
Yes. Are you really?
Yeah, of course.
You know what's strange is it's not strange, but I found like here in Los Angeles, people like prep for Halloween like almost all year long.
Well, I already had a client hit me up about doing Halloween makeup on the day of, and I'm like,
Fantastic.
What kind?
Speaking of Halloween, I just wanted to very quickly Halloween Horror Nights, which is one of my favorite events of the year. The one in Orlando is my absolute favorite. The one out here in California and at Hollywood is also fantastic. And also last year, Knott's Berry Farm. Have you heard of any announcements yet from Knott's
No,
Berry?
not yet.
They're kind of quiet, but I know that in Florida, this is for the first time in 28 years. This is the 28th anniversary of the event at Orlando Studios in Florida. They're going to have 10 houses. It's the most they've ever had.
Oh my
10 haunted houses in one location. They're going to have 3 of them have been revealed so far. Patient Zero, Trick or Treat. Have you guys seen Trick or Treat?
Oh, it's one of my favorite
Love
movies.
it.
Of the last,
It's
like,
one of my
10
favorite.
Cult
years.
classic.
Like,
Yeah, I think they're going to have it out
So
here as
good.
well.
So good.
Yeah, so Trick or Treat
I
and
have a Sam poster.
They are.
and Stranger Things.
I'm
Fair.
so
We'll
excited
watch
for
Yeah,
Stranger
we will.
Things.
Yeah.
I sculpted a little sand magnet for my con booth.
So then they're going to have 5 scare zones, and one of them is going to be inspired by an 80s vampire New Year's Eve party or something like that, which sounds kind
I'm
of cool.
about that life.
That's random, but I love it.
And then there's the Twisted Traditions in
Spittin'
Central
with Jim
Park and
Carrey?
the Harvest. And I just wanted to let you know, by the way, real quick, Spirit, you know the Spirit
Yes.
Halloween stores, they announced today or this week that
Yeah.
they are going to be selling the Michael Myers animatronic figure for $259.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's awesome. Ben, what kind of events do we have coming up?
Well, let's see, Jim. June 15th through 17th, ScareCon New England in Framingham, Massachusetts.
That's how you say it, Framingham.
Is that right?
Yes.
Framingham.
You know the guys who used to do not Ghostbusters, the guys who used to do Ghost Hunters on Syfy Network, they have a radio show they do now, and they're big sponsors of this event. So
Taps.
Yeah, yes. Taps.
The Atlantic Paranormal Society. I believe the T was for the.
We need to do a show with those guys.
We should.
That would be cool, a ghost hunt.
That'd
I got
be
another
amazing.
friend who was
That
on
would be
Ghost
cool.
Hunter.
We should go on a
Caesars.
ghost hunt.
I've done it. In Pasadena.
Have you really?
It's the gate to hell. Yeah.
What?
Yes,
Let's
there's a
take a
gate to
Ouija
hell
board.
in Pasadena.
When?
They give you a tour of it at nighttime.
If you'd like to go to hell,
Nope.
please report
Yeah.
to Pasadena.
It's
doesn't
super
sound-
cool.
That just reminds me of Troll Hunters, because like Tales from Arcadia, because it's kind of in Pasadena.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
I love
I
Troll
love
Hunters.
Troll Hunt-
It's amazing.
Have you seen the 3rd season?
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
of
we'll
course.
talk. We'll talk.
Sidebar.
June 22nd through 24th, Days of the Dead in Indianapolis.
Oh, that one's fun.
Not to be confused with Dia de los Muertos.
Our friends Jake and Lisa are going to that one.
There you
Yep,
go.
yep.
June 22nd and 23rd, Premier Haunted Attractions Tour and Education Series. The
That sounds
Headless,
so boring, but good. Keep
the Headless Horseman Maze and 7 haunted attractions in Ulster, New York.
No, it's really cool. It's like a.
Thanks, Jim. We just lost 5 viewers.
I know it's an education weekend that takes you through all these haunted mazes and things and teaches you how to do them. I think it sounds
Yeah, it sounds
fantastic.
cool.
You know, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is one of my absolute
Yeah.
favorite, like Halloween, like spooky stories.
Ichabod Crane.
I love Sleepy Hollow
Ichabod.
too, the Johnny Depp movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was so good.
I just really wanted, I really wanted Chris Walken to talk as the Headless Horseman. I'm the Headless Horseman. Anyway,
Without a mouth.
I'm very scary.
The shark teeth.
July 26 through 29, Hollywood Horror Fest Film Festival, accepting submissions through Film Freeway.
So for those who are doing short horror films, they are now accepting for here in Hollywood.
we should do one.
Okay.
I want it.
Done.
I know,
Done.
me too.
All right, you're in.
Woo, we're gonna win.
July 28th through 29 as well. Well, this is 28th, not 26th. 28th through 29, Midsummer Scream in Lengthy Beach, California.
Oh, I'm doing a demo there.
Excuse me,
Are you
Long
really?
Beach, California.
They've really got a huge convention this year down there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gotten really big.
what's it called? The Hall of Shadows is where they're doing all their haunted mazes and things, and they've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I'll be with Hollywood Makeup Academy doing a demo for them.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Like Sunday?
What are you doing?
I don't know yet.
Cool.
Something monstery usually.
Nice.
August 25th and 26th, Scare LA at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Are you doing them?
I should be.
You should
yeah.
be.
I did the Spookeasy for them last year for their after party.
Oh,
design.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing like the LA Convention Center, right? And it's all in darkness this year, and it's going to be lit as if it's like a haunted house when you're on
yeah, it's gonna be
Everywhere?
lit.
the
all
entire
right.
convention
Oh, I
center.
hate that.
It's
I'm
gonna
doing
be
makeup.
Yeah. No, your booth, you light it.
Oh, okay.
Every booth gets to
Lights
light
it however
you want.
You get your floodlights.
I'm bringing
going.
all of the lights then.
Right.
She's gonna light the
The
whole convention
Whole
floor.
thing. I mean, lighting in conventions is always terrible doing makeup, so that sounds awful.
And finally on the list, September 14th through 16th, Scarefest Horror and Paranormal Convention in Lexington, Kentucky.
Fantastic.
Isn't that the same weekend of Monsterpalooza?
Yeah.
Son of Monster.
Son of
Son of Monsterpalooza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yep.
Eh.
So we will get to that one soon. Okay, do you do that one? I'm sure.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys do Son of Monster Palooza?
I do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son and
I demo
and Dad. I guess. What do you call it?
just the OG.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's Monsterpalooza and Son of.
Yeah.
Monsterpalooza
bitch.
OG.
So let's before we are going to jump into Faceoff because I'm super excited to talk to you guys about that. You guys have some definite feelings on that. But first of all, we did advertise we're going to talk about this little movie that came out this weekend, Hereditary.
Oh, I want to
It's-
see it.
Whoa.
He's been waiting on
Somebody
that.
has feelings about it already.
No, that's not Anthony's feelings.
the opposite
He's
of
the
that.
opposite
Oh,
of
okay.
that. By the way, just so everybody knows, Hereditary is a film that made a splash at the Sundance Film Festival. You were there, Karen. You
I
were
was.
hearing all the buzz about it, and we were asking you about it, and it's been called by some people who like to hype things the scariest movie ever.
I
Don't
heard
listen.
Modern day exorcist.
Modern day Exorcist.
No.
Don't trust
The
that
most
ever.
horrifying film you'll ever see.
Why
I don't
is
believe
it so
that ever.
scary? Like, what's like the concept?
I want to know
Karen
when
will
I
tell
saw it.
you. Okay, let's. Okay, Anthony.
It was.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Okay, we did it.
Can we roll that?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's a good enough.
No, that's good enough.
That's good enough.
So
Yes.
before we jump into this, may I make a
Well,
very
we can-
small
Yes.
public service announcement? Some people didn't like this film, and some people did like this
Yes.
film, and that's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. That is
You
fantastic.
don't have to insult each other's heritage and mothers on the internet because you didn't feel the same way about a movie.
I dare you. My mom would
Thank
kick
you.
your ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Tony will
Mine too.
speak his opinion on it as well, but I definitely 100% agree with him. The film was poorly advertised, saying it's this super scary movie.
I hate
Or
when they do
greatly
that.
advertised because
sets
it
up
made
Yes.
$13 million.
for failure.
Wait,
They-
so you don't think it was scary?
Not at all.
Really?
I
But not
love
just
horror
not just
movies.
not like horror creature, just not scary.
Correct.
Is it
Wow.
like slasher or is it like more thriller? What's
I
like
heard
the concept?
slow
It's
burn.
smart.
Super slow burn.
Yeah.
I would tell people that it's a slow burn movie. Don't go in going, oh, I'm
need
going
to
to be
be-
super scared. It is more psychological thriller in terms of it's messing with what's going on in your mind and what you think is happening and what really is happening. And there are some amazingly awesome, disturbing visuals. I will give it that. But
Hey.
as
that
I'm
most people
sitting
find
there,
terrifying.
yeah,
Slower
what'd you find?
slower than the Babadook.
I didn't like Babadook, and I
didn't
like
either.
Babadook more.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, hey, Anthony,
I was
since,
okay with that.
since I think
didn't like it.
there's a couple
I didn't
more of us
like
in the
the
room
Babadook.
that are going to come from
was okay.
Carrie's
I wish we
perspective,
never saw
we
it.
would love to hear your perspective on the film.
Tony, you go first.
I don't want to be the spokesperson of the guy that only liked this film. To be honest with you.
No, you're not the only one in the
haven't
country
seen
that
it
liked
yet.
the film.
Yeah, plenty of people like
It made
it.
$13 million.
They did well. I was
got-
listening online on the radio, and they were definitely like, no, it did well for a first-time director.
It's a 96%
a
on
horror
Rotten
film.
Tomatoes right
Yeah.
I
now.
heard just
Really?
performance.
No, I'm sorry,
based,
93%,
I forget her
92.
name.
Toni
Still.
Collette.
Thank you. But people were like, she deserves an Oscar for this
She
film.
was amazing.
Oh, she was amazing.
Yeah.
She was
Like,
amazing.
Her commitment to
Which
it
I love her
is
as an
so
actress
good.
anyway.
She's
so.
really good. She's
You're
really good.
worried and stressed
anything.
for her. Like
Yeah.
there's a scene towards the end with
gosh.
her and her husband, and I'm just like, I just feel exhausted for you as an actor of like,
Watching her
having to
performance.
be at that like 1,000% so much.
She was 1,000% like the whole movie
Yeah.
almost, except for at the very beginning when she was very restrained at the funeral of her
Yeah.
mother, and just a little bit of backstory without being too spoiler. It was a movie about loss. It was a movie about grieving,
grief and family.
grief and the terrible things. But her grief was grief upon grief because she was grieving for her mother who she had lost, and it sounded like she never knew her mother very
Didn't
well
connect.
anyways.
Yeah.
And then there was another member of the family who had perhaps the single most traumatic moment in the movie.
It was the only time I've been in the theater I actually put my hand over my mouth when it happened.
Oh, I was watching with
just
Cheeseman,
like-
and he gasped at the.
I was like,
There was a scene. It was. I would say it was horrific. It was a
wow.
horrific tragedy scene that. Good
So
lord!
hashtag
it
trigger
was-
warning.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Carrie's a little bit. You're more battle. I think you're more battle hardened to horror than I am. I really do because.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm
this
like,
movie-
actually, we're not doing too many spoilers. I'm like, no, we're doing a good job. And the NPR story I was hearing about, I'm like, no, they didn't talk about that moment, but there was a moment where it's one of those, I saw it where it was going to go, but how it happened was like, man, it's just, it's tragic. It's very disturbing, and the fact that they don't show you a lot is what's
that's
great
what
too.
I prefer, like with going back to like the Babadook.
Yeah.
I would have liked that movie had they never shown it. The minute you saw that creature, I was like, oh
They never show the creature.
no, you see it.
In the Babadook, yeah, he's
Yeah, you
on the
do.
ceiling.
Yeah,
But
but he's
wait,
not
wait,
really-
wait,
They
wait, wait,
barely
well, you still
show
see
it.
him enough. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
it's not. You see
But
him.
let's
I
just
could
say.
have done
I would
without
like
the
it better if that
ants
were true.
part.
but
The
let's-
short film's better.
I'm gonna do a
Anyway,
couple of spoilery
yeah.
things, and just warning, these are spoilery things.
Spoilers.
Spoilers,
Spoiler
spoilers.
alert! Spoiler.
The grief of losing your daughter, and Toni Collette just absolutely.
Oh, she was so good.
That to me was more gut wrenching almost than any of the quote unquote horror elements.
Yes.
Was just watching her lose her daughter, and then
Can I just talk about that?
yes.
Because
Yeah.
that scene in particular is what broke my back. Like that's
Yeah.
what that scene is horrifying to me. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Her screams still echo within my mind. I sobbed. I openly sobbed I went to go see it with Steven on the Thursday night, and I openly sobbed next to him because of
Steven
Toni,
told us, yeah.
because of Toni Collette's powerful performance of that scene.
Yeah.
I felt her pain.
I did too.
Yeah.
And her pain became my pain, and I cried, and I
wow.
cried, and I've never cried that much in a film before. The fact that you can have a person on screen knowing that in your mind, yes, this is all fake, but when you hear that scream,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you hear that,
Ah,
you
crap.
hear that bloody murder, that pain, that raw humanness in a film, that's fucking magic. And
It's
that's what I felt,
There's our
and
one.
that's the moment I
Wait,
knew this
we
was a
can cuss?
fantastic film.
We get to.
A little bit.
What's
get
the
two
monster
F-bombs.
in this?
The
Yeah,
monster
two
is
F-bombs.
grief. No, but there was.
It's
I'm
the
a
mother.
crier,
Oh,
so
yes.
I guess you.
There is a
The monster is
demonic
bad
being?
communication between the family, and
Sort
that
of?
is what inevitably leads the family to implode upon itself because they can't communicate
Also
with each
known
other.
as a mother-in-law.
Oh yeah. I'd
Waka
go there.
waka.
Sorry.
There are those realistic things, and then they add these other supernatural
There
was
bits,
a
but that's what almost detracts, because then you're like, let's just throw things
That's
in there.
what Kari said. Like you,
It's like-
she had the opinion that the
They're just kind
again,
of being
we're-
weird to be weird at the
we're
very, very
in
end.
we're in spoiler
yeah.
zone now, so we can talk. There was a cult that did
But you kind of know that for a long time, though.
the hereditary aspect. What is passed on? The grandmother was part of a cult.
Ah.
they were trying to basically bring about a demon king. It was a very for those who are kind
Of
of
course they were.
So it's Rosemary's Baby.
Of course they were.
it was.
Wait,
This was.
Satan.
No, by the way, this ended. The movie ended worse than that. Like if that unsettled you, this movie was even worse.
Wait, you
Rosemary's
said
Baby.
that was not.
I loved Rosemary's Baby.
I think Rosemary's Baby was amazing.
Yes,
so.
I love
I do
Rosemary's
hate
Baby.
though when they do promos. We're like, this is the scariest
Yeah,
thing
no,
in the
it's
world.
horrible.
I'm like, all right, well now I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be scared
Yeah.
It made
because
the
I'm
Quiet Place
expecting
not
to
as
be
good for me
scared.
because they hyped it up so much.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
the
like,
other
yeah,
thing-
Science is better, but it was still a good film.
Yeah, Science
It
is
wasn't
good.
as good as the hype. though.
We talked about we have a show here, horror movie news, and we watched a movie called The Ritual, and that one has a bizarre gathering, shall we say, which was more disturbing when you first see that compared to in Hereditary. Like that one is just because you're like, what is going on? Like it's even more just weird because it's the middle of nowhere. But this one you're just like, but why?
I don't
Like
know.
there are things that,
Cheeseman, I want to know your opinion on this film because you tell me what was your opinion?
But I mean, so much of it was done. The acting was good. The cinematography.
oh,
and the-
cinematography's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it was just like too much of it was just too disturbing. Like I walked out like feeling I had like just like witnessed like a horrible thing, and I was like
And
walking around like barely able
Your
to make eye
exact
contact with
words
people.
were, "I feel like I just stepped on my friend's pet hamster, and it's still stuck on my shoe."
Isn't that amazing though?
No, Anthony, that's not.
No, I think
felt like
that's,
I-
I
No,
think it's
that's-
amazing you felt
And then
that
his
though.
next
Yeah.
words
Yeah.
And
were,
that's
"Hold
great
me."
if a film can make you feel that.
I had to do
Exactly.
everything I could to get
I
my
didn't
mind
feel it,
off of
but-
it quickly.
As an actor, though,
Here.
that's a great thing.
Did you feel like
to
it was
hear,
warranted though?
No. Let me give my opinion. I haven't
yeah.
given it yet. I thought it was done expertly. It was very clever. It had a lot of stuff I really liked. For example, I liked the way that they had a lot of the scenes of when you first walk into a room and it's dark, and it's slowly, you can start to slowly see the things in the room. And once you start seeing the things in the room, those were a couple of the
Those
super
were some
creepy
good ones.
scenes.
That was terrifying.
That was a
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
The
But
smiles in the darkness.
But I
Not
must say,
terrifying,
I
but
think it was
creepy.
a lot of skilled people made a film that I personally, this is my personal opinion, find vile and disgusting to the point of I did not enjoy a single second in the theater.
More vile than Mother?
It was that kind of vile for me. It was just like,
Oh, I will never see this.
I
then.
love Mother.
see,
I love Mother.
Listen to
I don't
him.
You're
care.
disturbed.
I don't know if that, as a moviegoer, I want to go into a movie like to be
it was
feel
vile.
like that. Like my kind of cup of tea horror is like slasher. Where I'm like,
I love slasher
you know?
films. I grew up loving horror. I love
Yeah,
horror movies.
same.
Can you elaborate a little on your use of the term vile? Because I'm not clear.
Vile
Okay.
is
Sounds
like,
like he was offended by it.
no, I wasn't offended. I didn't find it offensive. I found it vile in that it felt like this was filled up with black pus from somebody dying, and I dumped it over my head. That's what I felt like at the end of the
Yeah,
movie.
I had several friends come out of it saying like, I just felt yicky.
Because, for example, there are
I
scenes.
felt underwhelmed.
For example,
Oh.
the scene when a certain character saws her own head off with a piano wire, and it rolls around just so that her body can float up and bow down to the king, the demon king, with the other headless bodies, and the little daughter's head just happens to be stuck up here, filled with maggots, and we're gonna. Every part of that scene just disgusted me, and
Yeah,
I
that sounds
hated
pretty
it.
vile.
It felt
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not one of those you need an explanation for everything.
I'm sorry,
in
I'm
most
ruining
horror
it for
movies, you
people.
don't
It's
get
the opposite
explanations.
of the feel-good
but it
movie
felt
of the
like-
year.
But why? Because if that scene, I almost thought, I'm like, oh, is she doing that to protect everybody? It's
Yes.
like, no.
I wanted to see. You know what? Here's why I didn't like it. I didn't see. There was not a single character that triumphed about anything. Like I usually like horror movies because somebody can like. There's a
That's a good one.
even like a little glimmer of
A redeeming factor.
something.
No, it's just sucks to be you. Wrong place, wrong time.
Oh yeah.
The
Darn.
naked old people were happy at the end.
But you know that the cultists.
But see, then I like that. But then I just think of the cult ones where, yeah, you resurrected this thing and then it kills you all anyway. So I'm like, are you sure that was a good idea?
I know.
And then all your friends just died. So yay?
I honestly don't think that works against the film, though.
No, but it just makes me like.
I do think this film
Hey.
will have its fans. It's definitely
Oh,
gonna have
Yeah,
its
yeah,
Yeah, for
it's one
sure.
of those.
Yeah.
It sounded very dividing as
And-
far as.
Did you
Again,
guys, did you
there's-
guys like The Witch?
It's,
You know
it's-
what?
It's just like The Witch.
One
still
of our
haven't seen it.
panelists on another show, Box Office Breakdown, said similar vibe. which I'm really curious to go see that now too.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
You haven't seen The Witch?
I have not.
I have not either,
The
but most people I
know.
talked to today said it was like The Witch, but they liked The Witch.
I almost saw The Witch,
like The Witch,
and I
but I
hate horror movies.
I liked it a lot more than
wow.
The Witch, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess
I think it was a lot smarter film than The Witch.
Okay.
It ends in a very similar fashion, but it's definitely more visceral, and it works on so many layers.
more
Which
visceral
is
than this?
period piece, yes?
It works on so many layers. Yeah, it's like
See,
Protestant
that's almost
time.
more of a win for me. I'm like, cool. It's weird. They really don't know what's going on in their world. But-
Just very quickly, though.
Don't come tomorrow,
The
please.
things that were kind of. I
We're
can't.
doing the horror movie news tomorrow.
I
We'll
want you-
see what our
Or
third
movie
member
bad or more like, no, just kidding.
Yeah.
I want you guys to elaborate because we're not going to
Okay,
be able to
for
tonight.
all the like bashing essentially we're doing, it is a well-made film.
Yes.
The
Yes.
acting's
Off the charts good.
off the charts. Cinematography is great. There are some superb, disturbing visuals that you're like, all right, cool. I'm glad you guys were able to create that and make people uncomfortable. They did their job. As a entertaining movie, regardless of horror or whatever genre, drama, family falling apart, it's a hair lacking, and you're just not as engaged. The family's a little hard to connect to.
I think it's a whole head of hair lacking.
And it's a little underwhelming, but then I think if you know that going in, you might appreciate it more.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Because I will have to say that I judge just by the criteria I have for seeing movies. I can put up with a lot. I love horror films, but I have to at least enjoy it.
Yes.
I have to enjoy it. And this one I tried to because I love the
Me
hype
too.
of it.
I was like, at the end, like the last 10, 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, if they do something really like, whoa, and redeem all of that,
Yeah.
I will be so impressed.
Yeah.
That did not
Like I
happen
was
for me.
thinking, like we were
So
talking
a
today.
palate
and-
cleanser afterwards.
Yeah.
Cleanser,
Give me something
the cleanser
amazing.
afterwards
Knock it out of the
was,
park.
3 hazies at the Glendale Tap.
Yeah.
3 hazy beers.
I was
Well,
planning for a
yeah.
palate cleanser though,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Well, I think what you're touching on is particularly as an American audience, but I think just as humans, we need something. We need that glimmer of victory or justice or hope or something
I'm
at the
okay
end.
with everything going to shit and nobody succeeding though, but it needs to be like,
If there's a
oh,
purpose,
like,
though.
Justified.
yeah.
Or it needs to be
Justified.
completely
What do you mean if
obliterated.
What do you
that's-
mean by that? Like, if it's justified, it's a film. Like,
No, but Anthony, like you said, that like the guy. I said I felt like I was sitting in pus and nastiness.
You felt like it was over the top.
And Anthony, you said that he succeeded. I guess my question is, he succeeded at what? What is the purpose of the film?
of making you feel uncomfortable, of making you feel like you don't want to be there, and you're still looking at the screen.
Then why did I pay
I get
money
it.
to be there?
Because people want to
Movie
feel
pass.
uncomfortable. Because people are too comfortable in their regular lives and their drabness of everyday lives.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable in my.
You know what,
everyday
Anthony?
life.
And I'm gonna say there was one amazing scene in there when the little girl was suffering from peanut allergies and she could barely breathe and she was trying to. That's kind of what I
That was
felt.
such an easy big setup though. That was another one that I'm like,
But I kind of felt that
I'll give you
way
that.
throughout the whole film. Like I'm like, I just want. And it was relentlessly sad,
Yeah.
relentlessly, and there's so much that's going to be written about it. Yes.
sorry, with the peanut allergy. Gonna nitpick, and I'll probably nitpick more tomorrow. Kid has a peanut allergy. They set it up. Honey, do you have the EpiPen? No, I don't have an EpiPen. If you have a child that is deathly allergic
That
to
is-
something, you
You
have
have
that
it,
on you,
yeah.
unless you're
Yes.
horrible parents, which, okay, fine, we'll set that up. But no, I'm like, if you've ever, that just feels like lazy or unresearched writing. So you're just like, oh. Because then it comes back again later, like, do those have nuts in them? And you're like,
That feels a little on the nose.
it was a little too much of like, I would have rather be like, yes, we have it in the car. Okay, fine. They're kind of, they're on it,
Living
but
life
not
on the
great. Yeah.
I guess
So,
my
little
opinion-
things like that are just, it just detracts from, it's like we know it's fake, but it really pulls you out of it.
Yeah, I would, in that, I'm glad you had that. In my opinion is, I do think it was a horrific film. It wasn't a horror film. It was horrific in that the trauma they were going, it's almost like we're going to revel in this drama and we're going to stick it, the knife and you turn it. And I guess that's a good horror film.
See, Anthony's like, yes, exactly.
But like, it was so painful to watch. And like Anthony said, he was weeping. And I get that. That scene that he's talking about was a powerful scene
Yeah.
of the mom weeping for her daughter and the reaction of the son, because the son killed his own sister on accident by driving too close to a pole and taking her head off.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There,
At
that
this
is
point, it's
not.
already been
That
spoiled.
is just a horrible series of events. Of
Yes,
like,
it was. It's not his fault. It's
Was
not his
Lemony
Lock-
Snicket involved?
Yeah, there's just too many.
That was all planned. The whole decapitate. That was all planned. That was all planned. If you didn't know that.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
mean
There's
he like
foreshadowing with the
purposefully?
bird.
I think it was planned because I think
No, you mean like he purposefully did it?
no.
No, as in someone put
Put that
the
in the
animal
road.
in the road.
Yeah.
Oh,
drive him
sure.
up.
No, but it's still like, okay, I have dogs. My windows, if there's a child or dog in the car, those windows
Oh,
are
yeah.
locked.
Child
so
safety.
the fact of like, oops, I bumped the window down. Oops, I'm out the window. And
It was like a Final
but
Destination.
yes, I
kind of
could see
moment.
that of like that was.
Well, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
demon
Guided.
entity.
But I do
involved.
this.
I know,
I do
but
to
it's
say
still
this:
like-
the most horrifying scene, besides the head being shot off by her
Oh
own
my
self,
God.
with the
Yeah.
was
The
the
head
scene.
on the
hug
ceiling
later.
thing.
Oh, for God's sakes, the head on the ceiling.
No, when it's upside down.
There was
When
a-
she's banging her head on the.
Oh,
Yeah,
that-
that
Oh,
gave
when
me
Toni
was
chills.
Collette
so
is
That was
crawling on the
good.
ceiling and she
I was
bangs her
like-
head on the ceiling to try to open the door.
Yeah.
That was
And
terrifying.
then the fact that he calls her mommy.
Okay. Also, I must say though, I don't hate his acting, but his crying sounds
oh,
comedic.
when he went,
My
"Oh,
audience,
mommy!"
because he goes,
Oh, no.
like just like that every time
He's
my
a high
audience
school
laughs.
boy. What do you expect?
Okay.
He seemed kind of emo. I do have one question. Big time spoiler.
Yes.
Yes.
Did he die when he jumped out of the window? Because I saw a black spirit leaving him, and then another light.
You
coming
saw a
into
black
him.
spirit?
Yes,
Yes.
a black
Really?
ghost left
Yes.
his body as he hit the ground.
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
And then the white
Like
one
almost
came
like
in.
his soul
Yeah.
left, and then another
He was
light
dead.
came in, which is the sister.
I'd go with
spirit.
he's
The
dead.
sister
That's a
spirit.
far drop, and well, is it really his sister?
The spirit of his sister who was the
Well,
spirit of
which
the...
was it really her the whole time?
They do establish that they don't need to be dead to be taken over
That's
by
true.
payment because a mother is taken over by payment.
Yeah, and also then on this one thing, I have to ask anybody who watched it. They're like, that noise by the end is terrifying. I was like, no, I just found it annoying and stupid.
The funniest thing
and
is
like,
Luke, he sent the noise out to me, Kari, and Anthony
I
today.
replied, I'm like, eye roll. No,
What's the noise?
not funny.
What's
It's the click. The little kid makes that drop noise,
Oh.
and the idea is like it represents who that kid is, and then by the end, someone else makes it, and then you're like,
And what's interesting is like the demon had to be manifest in the body of a man. The grandmother could
now
not.
we're getting really specific.
Yeah, the grandmother could not do it. Her daughter could not do it. The little girl could not do it. All three of them were eventually decapitated, and it was given over to the brother to take on the mantle of this man.
Yeah, but I think in the trailer they retcon that he's not actually the brother.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
wait. I will say though, I thought he was a weird casting choice because he does look semi-ethnic compared
I
to
was
the
odd.
parents and the sister.
It
I'm
was
like,
odd.
is he actually biologically their child?
I think they were probably maybe insinuating perhaps not.
Adopt.
I'm okay with that.
And just so you know, and Anthony debunked this, a lot of
Adopt, don't
discussion
shop.
today went into this was just a story about descending into madness, and everything that was happening was not really happening, but it was in the mind of Toni Collette that she was just going crazy, and she did dig up her mother, she did cut off. Anyways,
I don't even feel spoiled. I'm just so confused now.
And I'm just so
Now you're
disturbed.
super confused.
Really, I
All
feel
right.
like the black pus has now been poured over me, and I didn't see this damn movie.
I do feel like I need to give her a hug later.
all right.
Yeah.
We'll all
Let's
give
move on
Keatin a
to
hug.
something. Okay, thank you guys for indulging our very long.
Transition. We're gonna wipe that off with some makeup wipes and transition to something prettier.
I'm gonna
and
take our face off.
Yes.
Face Off. We are so excited to have some Face Off professionals in the room tonight.
Professional.
Yes, so we do have some photographs that we will be running, and if each of you can kind of walk through and tell us what we are
right.
seeing when we see them. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
a mold.
I don't know who this is from. Is this?
That's Jamie's
That's a
face.
Jamie's
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is.
Jamie face.
That's the inside of my head.
Oh, fantastic.
fun. Mold.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
That
That's
Jamie.
another face.
Is that you, Jamie?
yeah, that was my first appearance, and it was kind of ended up being kind of like a dog soldier type thing.
Cool.
With one eye.
Cyclops
Yeah, the whole
Was that 10?
yeah.
Season
Yeah,
10.
that challenge was a Cyclops challenge.
Now, for people who have no idea, because I am also a little curious, how did you first get involved? You're a rather tall person, so I'm wondering,
Yeah.
were you picked based on your?
I think some
appearance.
of it maybe, but I'm kind of on the shorter end of some of the guys that are on there because they're like 6'6" and they're
You're on the shorter end of tall.
kind
Well,
of. Yeah.
for like the standard face-off models, most of them are like 5'10" to maybe 6.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you guys
Yep.
kind of.
Yeah, you're right.
How tall? are
But
you?
then we're talking like when they have specifically like bigger, larger
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
life
there's some-
challenges. That's when they
exactly.
want like 6'2" to like 7.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. I just auditioned and
Cool.
and when I was a kid, before I got into acting, I was drawn to creatures. I wasn't thinking like De Niro, you know. So I did prosthetics. I did makeup and stuff and masks, and then so this kind of brought it full circle. It was really awesome to be a part of the show. And
Cool. Who's this guy?
What is this? Yeah.
oh, that was
Or
a
what?
that was a mad scientist transformation challenge from
Yeah,
the
that was from
All-Star.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, which is where I met Keaghlan officially, I think.
Oh, and real quick, can you guys just explain to our audience exactly what it is? What is your involvement with the show?
Mine was just being a makeup model and actor. You know.
I was one of my first jobs out in LA. I was on the AD team. So I worked, this was before I even started pursuing any on-camera stuff. And I worked very closely with the models and with the cast, just keeping the models safe when they were in their full-on makeup, yelling at the cast if they were going to put any
Here's Keatin and...
Oh, Jamie!
Yeah, that was a gig that. So I knew Keatin from. I mean, I was connected with her, but then we actually met on this, which was a Gears of War 4 tour that they were doing, and so we got suited up by a group called Blue Whale Makeup out of Atlanta, and
Which was another Faceoff alum.
Yeah.
Matt Silva.
Yeah, Matt Silva.
And we're going to go back to your pictures in just 1 second, and then how... Okay.
I was a contestant on season 7 and then 11. So
Fantastic.
got to do the makeups and
Yeah.
experience the torture.
Awesome. And we have pictures from all of you guys. If you can go ahead and just walk us through what we're seeing here. This is you as...
Yeah, that's the mad scientist.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is
this
Mad
was the
Scientist.
transformation.
Okay.
That was, I believe, Ben Plowman and Evan Hedges did
Yep.
those makeups.
Yeah.
There was a smaller version who was like the first initial transformation, and then you were the final form, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they paired a lot of the, I guess, smaller actors or models with larger actors because most of the bigger ones were the transformation.
To give you a little behind-the-scenes stuff on how like the models got cast, they had such a huge pool of varied sizes and like looks because some of the challenges called for like the giants, or some of them called for, it was like a fairy challenge, so they needed to have a pool of at least 15 tiny women who look somewhat fairy-like, so it was fair for everybody. And like a challenge like this, they had like guys that I was taller than, and I'm 5'6". So they had like short guys, tall girls, tall guys.
With that challenge, we ended up, because our initial actor our initial pair of models, the taller one, he had a family emergency. So in middle of challenge, we were given a new set of people. Actually, no, we had the same guy that was our smaller person, and then our larger person was switched out. And so it was, thankfully, it didn't, because I think our taller actor wasn't African American and our shorter actor was, so it was thankfully that didn't kind of affect it, because otherwise it was how are we supposed to do?
He changed ethnicity.
Yeah, exactly. It was thankfully our design didn't have to have any ethnicity come into play, but it was initially we're oh my god, what do we
painted him blue.
We can't change races like that. That's not PC.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we always had backup models, literally on hold, because it was one of my jobs was basically to let all the models know you're booked, making sure they all show up on time and are there, and if an emergency happens, be able to switch somebody out and get somebody there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And we just were looking. Can we pull that picture back up, Anthony? And this is you.
It's me. Yeah. That was at actually Scare LA last year. I did a gentleman from Buffy makeup.
Is that Mitch?
The episode of
No,
Hush.
yes, Hush. That is actually another cosplay friend of mine, Ray Bender, who was underneath that.
Fantastic. And we have a couple more pictures from her, I think.
And this was from season 7. It was we had a Wizard of Oz and meets Wonderland challenge. We basically had to take a character from the Wizard of Oz and as if they fell down into the rabbit hole. And so we ended up, my partner Rachel Wagner and I ended up with the Tin Woodman, and we decided to make him basically the Queen's executioner.
Oh, that's great.
Very cool.
I love
I think
this.
there's another. I think there's another one too. Oh.
This is just a barrage of some of my makeups. Actually, the one on the far right was our Mad Scientist challenge. He was our initial transformation into a full. We had to take insects and splice them with their DNA. So it's basically kind of a fly homage. He's missing an ear, like the Brundle fly. And then in between that was our Bloody Mary challenge from season 7. We had to do our foundation challenges, which were the 2-hour in the lab challenges. And so that was basically compiling whatever prosthetics we could find in the lab and then throw them on a person. And then the far left was my muse from this first episode of season 7, where we had to create either a life character or a death character, and whatever prosthetic was presented in a mystery box. And so that was probably the character I'm most known for from the show.
I just think because when I Googled today, I just Googled Faceoff, that character comes up.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
she's my most, I would say, most popular character I've gotten to do, and she just
You
kind
won that challenge, right?
I didn't win that challenge.
Oh.
No. That was Dina won that challenge. I was just a top look on that one. But I think it was because I did a very subtle makeup. Like Dina literally piped silicone all over her model and like threw the kitchen sink at it. So it was a little more applied effort than I think mine.
But who was an all-star?
Okay,
well,
so-
she did win though.
And,
so there's that.
do we have any other pictures? And what is this?
That is actually Keatin.
Oh, wow.
In a character of an original character of mine called.
Oh, so you did the makeup right here?
Yeah, this is my makeup and Keatin as the model for it. I met her through my partner Rachel Wagner at one of the conventions. We weren't ever on any of the same seasons together. So what seasons you were?
I did 5 and 6.
Okay, so I
right
just
before,
missed
we just
you.
missed each
Yeah.
other. But I feels like I've known you forever.
And then this next shot, I don't.
Oh, that's me and Mackenzie. I ran into her at
I
Disneyland.
saw that. I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie.
Yeah, she. And it was cool running into her because she's just as sad. Mackenzie Westmore is the host of Face Off. She's a wonderful person. Michael Westmore, her dad, is
Such a nice
nice man and is such a. Their family has a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame for their makeup.
Oh,
but
wow.
she is really sad that Face Off is done.
She's the sweetest person
She
ever.
is, and I think they're fighting to make it come back.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that'd be-
working towards it.
And then we have a couple more pictures because I do want to talk about that. And ooh, what is this?
Oh, that's me. Kat and Nico are 2 other contestants that were on Face Off, and they did this called the Exo Bride, and they did this on me. This was very shortly after they did their first season on Face Off. Season 6, yeah. But yeah, they did that. They did this makeup on me. It kind of looks like a female predator. They've done this on me like 3 or 4 times. And we were trying to do a short film around this character, but we never got off the ground.
And I
Soon
think we
enough,
have.
you can. Still.
Do we have any other Anthony? Oh, okay. And there's this
And
one.
there's
And
me,
I think that's the fine one, right, Anthony? I think.
Yeah, I think we showed along.
So let's talk a little bit about this show, and I know that you might have some questions as well. How did you guys get involved with this? What are your career goals, and then like what happened? Why is it this final season?
Well, for me, most of my friends from seasons 1 through 6 had been on it, and so at this point, I was kind of I'd auditioned for it for season 3, but I wasn't interesting looking and didn't have blue hair at the time, so they were a little less interested in me. But I ended up getting cast for season 7, auditioned for it, and it was always with blue hair, yes,
And eyebrows.
and it was more of a means to a stepping stone. It was never supposed to be like the be all end all. But it was definitely, I just wanted the opportunity to do that. And at the time, my portfolio had been stolen. I had my house broken into. So I literally had nothing to really show for it. And so doing Face Off was, here's all the money in the world to make these characters for yourself. So I literally looked at it as kind of a means to get a portfolio. But it was also, I just wanted to see if I could, basically. And then when they called me back up for season 11, it was like, okay, yep, sign me up. Because I'm a glutton for punishment.
And I dropped her off.
Yeah, he did. He dropped me
How
off.
do you guys know each other?
Through the con community.
Yeah, we met through con and cosplay stuff.
Yeah,
we met at Kamikaze a few years ago.
I was dressed as the hag from Snow White. I didn't tell anybody I was showing up. Wore full face prosthetics and ended up bumping into him and his now fiance. And at full like hello there, like creep.
And there's also another connection here as well. You were just telling us for the show.
Yeah.
She's one of the bridesmaids in our wedding, and her boyfriend is one of my groomsmen. So
That's great.
Full circle.
All right. And what about you guys?
Do you want to go?
Shh, ladies first.
Okay. So my first job out of college was on the TV show Survivor, and moved to LA because Jeff Probst, the host, asked me to work on his talk show. That show didn't get picked up for another season. There was no spot for me to go back to Survivor, and the AD who had used to be on Survivor called me and said, come work on my team. I'm working on this really awesome show called Faceoff. And I had seen it. I love special effects makeup. I have so much respect for them. And I was like, oh my God, to be on an AD. And I used to want to be an AD. Like, that's kind of like the path I wanted in this industry.
For those who don't know what that is.
It's an assistant director, which is basically like you make sure everybody's on time, everybody, gets checked in, gets checked out, everybody, gets their hours, everybody breaks for lunch at the right time. Like
They keep the clock and the schedule.
Yeah, we keep the
going.
clock.
Yeah.
And then, I was not the first AD. I was like the fourth AD because I was like the newbie. But I basically took care of like the contestants and
those were usually my
the
favorite
models.
people. Yeah. We had the most interaction with them on the show, probably.
But yeah, I was like first one on set, last one to leave type of thing. That's kind of my longest day ever on set was 21 hours, and it was on Face-Off, a finale.
Oh yeah, the finales lasted forever.
Finale.
But it was also Face-Off, it was Mary on Face-Off who told me,
Mary.
what are you doing working behind the camera? You need to go be in front of it. And she was the one who encouraged me to leave the AD world and
She's
take
the
rest. She is
best.
the best. So yeah, I have made so many wonderful friends from Face-Off. So.
Love you, girls.
What about you, Jamie?
I auditioned for it and had to do like a zombie walk or something like that. And I kind of knew it was this show, but the audition notice was pretty vague, and so I got it, and then all of a sudden they were fitting me for sclera lenses, and like I said, it was a really cool thing for me because I kind of went the way of acting and got away from makeup, as a small kid. And so to be able to kind of come back around and do creature stuff, and which that kind of helped me get launched in that direction. I mean, I consider myself an actor, but I love the creature side of it. And it's a great skill set, and it's awesome. And there's so many talents out there. So for me to be able to kind of like still kind of be in that realm a little bit has been really fun. And started doing convention stuff, and then started doing more auditions for creature roles.
I think I bumped into, because we had kind of lost connection, then I bumped into you at a convention. You were Frankenstein.
Yeah,
it was
Midsummer.
Midsummer, last year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so, yeah, and so, I had a great experience on it.
Cool. What? So,
I have some questions.
Go ahead.
I have answers.
So, like, what was it that's like that you saw like growing up or something, and it's like I'm doing what I'm doing now because of this? Like, what is that thing you're such a big fan of, or that you liked that kind of like led you all to kind of what you're doing?
Well, I actually started out in musical theater first. I was a big like Wizard of Oz and like musicals. Judy Garland was and is an inspiration. Happy birthday yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And but from that, I decided to do makeup in doing theater classes, and that was part of our requirements as a theater major, and kind of slowly rediscovered how much I liked doing makeup. But then if I backtracked going a couple years, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like, I grew up wanting to be the Slayer. Like that was, just a strong, powerful, like female, like figure to look up to. And then like I had, I was, my mom would say obsessed with it. So I had, every book that you could, and like going through it, I would see pictures of people doing these creatures. And I'm like, wait, that's a job? Like you can make monsters. So that was kind of, now my like musical theater and my horror, like they kind of mashed and created like my style basically. So that's
nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a dream job. So many people don't realize this is a job that you can do.
Yeah.
Making monsters for a living.
Yeah, it's I anytime I'm on a set and it gets a little too serious, I'm like, we're making rubber monsters for a living, guys. It's so much fun. So
Yeah. Did you guys have any kind of inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously into film growing up, and I loved my kind of interest into film came from like loving history and being able to feel like I could get more introduced to history by watching a movie like that took place in that time period. And I was such a chicken growing up. My brother loved things like Are You Afraid of the Dark? So Weird, like these things, and I was so scared of them, but then I'd still watch them and torture myself. And when I started discovering kind of working behind the scenes of horror films, or being the creature myself and getting to be the one who gets to scare people rather than the one that's being scared, I felt like I kind of had control of it. So that's kind of why I as soon as I could start like being turned into monsters and stuff, it was so much fun for me. And also like I have a very like kind of girl next door, like, you know, I get very pigeonholed very quickly. So when I can do a creature or something and not look like myself, it's so freeing as an actor, and it's just so much more fun than being like the damsel in distress.
I will say, as a makeup artist, turning really pretty girls really ugly is really fun.
We are getting down to our
Yeah, a little
probably our
cathartic as
last
well.
minute or two here of the show. So, Jamie, what about
I
you?
think, I mean, all of it for me. I mean, seeing Creatures, that was like, oh my God, how do they do that? My mom watched like all the Universal horror movies, so you know, like Bela Lugosi, he was an icon to me as a kid, even though I didn't know what that word was. And then, you know, kind of getting more into the acting and learning about people like Lon Chaney, who totally transformed themselves. And to me, that's what an actor does, whether you use makeup or not. But the makeup part's really fun, you know, to be able. I mean, you can't. It's hard to not be, you know, change your body when you've got a pretty cool makeup on and a pretty cool costume. It's almost like, what, you know, how could you not act that, you know?
Plus, what's on your knee right now? What are you wearing,
This
man?
this is Michael Myers mask by Trick or Treat Studios.
Yes.
And one of the good ones. And yeah, and I just thought it would be appropriate. I don't know why for the show.
It seemed like it might be
Yeah.
an inspiration.
Yeah.
Question for everyone who's been in prosthetics and then done the prosthetics. Favorite costume look that you have worn, and the one that was the most difficult.
And this is our final question.
Okay.
I've done both. I've worn probably as many makeups as I've applied. So I would say my favorite I've done as like performing and wearing it was I did a female Voldemort. That was a pretty big crowd pleaser. And then to actually do it, I would say like to this day probably the one I did on Keatin, the gold character, is my favorite makeup I've done. So.
Awesome.
And most difficult?
That one was pretty difficult. I did that over the course of a week, and at that point, both David Bowie and Alan Rickman had passed away, so it was very emotionally hard makeup to get through, which is why I named it the Lady Lazarus after the fact. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, that was hard.
I did a 7-hour application one time on me, and I had to stand for a good part of it, and I was basically naked. Loved the makeup when it was
Poison
done.
Ivy?
Poison Ivy. Loved the makeup when it was done, but it was very exhausting. And I have so much props for Jennifer Lawrence, who did the Mystique makeup, because I know that's like the process she had to go through is like 6-hour makeup and 6 hours in the makeup chair basically, and then go to set for another 12. That EXO bride that you saw, that was all L200, and it did not breathe. So as soon as that thing went on, I was just pure sweat. And I could not go to the bathroom.
Sexy.
But yeah, right. Yeah, Nico and I got really close because he would have to take it off, and I would just be dripping sweat in the back. But one of my favorite makeups, honestly, is that gold one too, because it looks so cool, but it was so I could see. I didn't have to wear contacts. Yeah. I could move in my costume, and we did like a lot of cool, fun like video stuff, which was really cool to kind of get into the character.
Awesome.
The one of my most fun was probably just a blue demon that I kind of monikered the Ice Demon. It just had a cool look, and I could see, and I could breathe, and those are like that kind of helps make it, you know, one of the nicer ones.
And no glitter.
These are qualifiers.
No glitter is like.
Yeah.
I've only not like actually permanently blinded, but I've only blinded one performer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not permanently, like just in the makeup, like they couldn't see. They had to be led, but like that, you know.
Yeah.
And
Just
most
one.
difficult?
Most difficult was when I couldn't see or hear for about 10 or 11 hours. Like I'm pretty good with prosthetics, but after a while,
No, that's hard.
I just was like, I want this off. And
Did someone hold your hand and?
they literally
I'm here
they
still.
guided me around, and after a while, it was just I just felt like I was inside of a shell.
I did a 4-hour stint of that, so it's not fun. After a certain point, you'll just be like, I'm like not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys go like 10 hours without using the bathroom?
You monitor what you're drinking, and if you have
You
like if
also
you're
sweat,
sweating too,
yeah.
like
yeah.
you're getting rid of it like that, but you just kind of have to. It was this weird thing. I was like only a couple sips of coconut water, so I didn't get really dehydrated, but at the same time, But funny, this is really quick. Random story. My very first time on Faceoff for one of the final, the reveal stage, which is a much longer day. First day, one of the models comes up and she goes, I have to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, okay, let's go to the bathroom, because it was always, my job to monitor them. We go to the bathroom and she goes, she has these super long nails, and she goes, I don't think I can pull down my pants. And I go, what? And she goes, I need your help. So I literally had to go into the bathroom with this girl and pull down her pants, and be like, okay, are you done?
Jamie, we gotta ask, has anyone ever had to help?
No, but I did have to do like this.
Okay.
I've had to help a lot, actually.
Have you really?
Yeah, I've definitely. I've gotten real close with models before.
I usually help Luke go to the bathroom, but that's just a personal thing.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching the Scare Guys show this week. I do have a last question as we end. Face Off is such a great show. Is there any hope of it being on somewhere else, or?
Well, as far as I know, there is a petition to keep it going. I don't. If you just Google Face Off petition, you'll probably find it.
We'll put it on our we'll put it on our website as well. Face Off petition. Make sure you guys go.
Netflix.
I think
it's
we're
a
at
great show.
10,000 signatures at the moment. I think the hope is probably to get it to either another network, maybe Syfy. We'll see with the response.
Because Syfy is all about the fan experience now. So you think...
and also tweet every time. Like I know that they're doing a lot of live tweeting during the show. Like just live tweet, like #Faceoff, like #Say Face Off. That's kind of the way to do it.
All right, and I'm sure you guys will be very active online getting that. Yes.
Can I announce something real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick. I'm going to be at E3. Keaghlan's going to be there.
I will be at E3 as well.
I'm going to be a zombie for The Walking Dead.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll be working with God of War, doing some makeups for them.
Sweet.
I'll tell you what, as we end the show, we are ending the show right this second. I will allow all of you guys and encourage you guys. Tell us, Keatin, Jamie, and Keaghlan, where can we find you guys?
You guys can find me all over the interwebs at Keatin Marchi. It's just my name.
I am Average Jam.
And where can we find you guys?
On Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah.
Any appearances?
Oh, coming up.
E3?
Yes, E3.
I'm at Red Tilted Design on Instagram. You can also just Google my name, Keaghlan Ashley. I'm the only one. And also, I will be at E3 this week. And then check out Sinister Creature Con if you're in the Sacramento area. I will be there all weekend doing a new original character and then also teaching a class. So check out my Instagram or redtilteddesign.com and sign up for the class. So.
Right. Kari.
And yeah, my name is Kari Lane. You can find me online, Twitter, Instagram, Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And nothing horror just yet, but Anime Expo and Comic Con.
Sweet. I'm Ben Kliewer. You can find me all over the interwebs at BENKLIEWER, or just search the hashtag BK421. And anything I got coming up right now, not at the moment, I don't think. I've got other con-related stuff, but I'll do that on the next show.
I'll be at
good.
Comic Con too.
Awesome. Cheese on couch.
I'm Cheeseman on the couch. You can find me on thescareguy.com and on Twitter at cheeseoncouch.
And I am Jim. I'm the managing editor here. You can find me at Con Guy Jim. You will also be able to find the Scare Guy at Scare LA coming up in August. So we'll see you guys there. And any kind of scary stuff you guys know about, let us know. We would love to talk about it. Also, let us know what kind of guests you'd like to see on the show. I really am thankful for you guys tonight. You guys gave us a great show. This was so great. We can't wait to talk to you guys again. All right, you guys, we'll talk to you soon. Next week is all going to be about the Con Guy. So see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Sweet.
Bye.
Actually, we're taking next week off.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.